guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, happy Friday. Oh, I hope everybody had a wonderful week and is having a great day. Guess what? Chicken butt. No, guess what? Well, this is day one of a 3-day weekend. So you know what that is? That's a vacanza, a vacanza, a vacanza. That's correct, a 3-day long weekend. So I am so excited. I poured myself a Diet Dr. Pepper. So pour yourself a beverage, whether it be hot or cold, adult or non-adult. And let's talk finally about the boys from Gallatin, Missouri. That is the McBee Dynasty. I finally watched it. Season 2, episode 6, recap and rant. Let's get into it. So we start off this week with a little boys trip. Well, Steven Jr. tells Cole and Jesse, hey, listen, the boys are going to Nashville. This is not optional. You have to go. He's saying that he's saying they have to go because it is a business trip, because they have to go there and taste like different spices that Steven is thinking of adding into like their business, because from what it looks like they have like a ship direct to the customer like meat. So he's saying they would like to include these spices in with this meat that they're shipping out. But then he also says that it's Jesse's birthday weekend, and also Jesse's going to be getting married. So this is going to be like a birthday weekend / bachelor party weekend. Here's the thing. This is why I don't buy that it is just that they're going down mainly for business. And the reason why is because Steven Jr. is the CEO. So why do Cole and Jesse have to be there to taste the spices? I get it. They're McBee's and their name is on the box. However, I mean, Steven's the one that's always saying he's in charge. So why do they have to be there? And neither one of the guys really want to go. And Cole was like, I'm not going. I'm not going. I promised Casey that I wasn't going to do these things, and I'm not going. Well, then he calls up both Allie and Casey and was like, hey, we have a business meeting in Nashville and they have to come. Neither of the ladies are happy, which I don't blame them. And listen, why do I think Steven's doing this? I think Steven is doing this because, well, this is going to be like the last time. He's saying this is going to be the last time before his brothers move on. Honestly, because Casey's pregnant, Jesse's getting married soon, and he's like, Cole's having a baby. Cole's going to be a father. Jesse's going to be married. I'm going to be 31. So I think he's really like leaning into the whole like, I'm single and nothing is going on with me. Woe is me. I'm going to drag my brothers out. Because he does go to his house and he sees all the pictures of Calla and he's all upset and missing her and everything. But yeah, I don't think he needs to do this. I think there's part of me who's thinking that he just wants to subconsciously stir up some trouble with in his brother's relationships, because he knows that anytime Cole goes out drinking, he drinks too much and then he makes bad decisions. And later on, he pushes Jesse's buttons on something, but we'll talk about that. So the ladies just are not happy. And Allie didn't even find out actually from Jesse. She found out from Casey, which is shitty. He should have just told her himself. Casey, listen. Plus, honestly, Jesse should have told her, because Jesse's the one out of the three of them, well, actually out of all four brothers, that is the good one, that doesn't do anything. He just drinks a little bit. And I get why Casey's pissed, because following the Ozarks, when he got toe up, flow up drunk, and acted like an ass, and he was like, I am not going to drink again. He took her away on a hunt on a baby moon. So here he is, right back into being put in this position where he can behave badly, which there's probably a good chance that he will. I agree with Christy. Christy is talking to the ladies, and she's like, this is disrespectful. It absolutely is. And Cole is out of all of them, Cole is the one who is like his father. And that's ultimately why Casey doesn't trust him. She's like, I don't want to be married to Stephen McBee Sr. because she sees what he's like. And just an opinion. Now listen, this right here, this all the fault of Stephen Jr. Because he's just like his dad, he forces them to go. Like in season 1, they could have said, I don't want to go, we're not going. And he's like, you have to go, you are going. I mean, Stephen Jr. has to realize that Jesse and Cole now have they have partners. Jesse's going to be getting married, and Cole is going to be having a daughter. So, like I said, I almost feel like he's trying to subconsciously not ruin it, but make it, maybe push it towards ruin a little bit. Okay, so everybody gets to Nashville. So for Nashville, all the guys get to Nashville. Casey has like 2 rules for Cole. No girls at the house, and call me before you go to bed. We also find out Galena's going to be in town for the meeting. Okay. So the brothers minus Braden are talking, and talk turns to Allie and this prenup. Cole, this surprised me. Cole was the one who started the discussion on it. I think he said something like the divorce rate is 72%. So he then brings up, on the heels of that statistic, he brings up the fact that if there's no prenup, if you don't have Allie sign a prenup, then, your name shouldn't be on the farm. Stephen Jr. agreed. And he's like, it has to be, you have to have a prenup, she has to sign it, or we're taking your name off the farm. Because those statistics means that 2 or 3 of us could be divorced. Okay, so if you're talking about 2 of the 3 of them being Stephen Jr., Jesse, and Cole, in my mind, the one that's not going to be getting divorced is going to be Jesse. And the reason being is, number 1, he is like the most level-headed and most responsible and least misogynistic man out of the 3 of them. Also, the woman that he's marrying is no gold digger. She's not a woman that was taking $10,000 and $20,000 at a time from her boyfriend. So that was a little bit that was not just a little bit hypocritical. That was very hypocritical. So back in Gallatin, and here's another reason why Casey was upset that Cole just left. And that's because she has her baby shower. Now I get it. Guys don't, they aren't at the whole baby shower, but they usually come in at the end and are like put in like a little appearance and say hello and then help carry all the presents out. But Cole is missing that. And also she has, later on we see that she has like baby photographs, like a baby photography, like a maternity shoot. And Cole's missing that. Okay. So in Nashville, they taste the spices, and also Galena goes to that. Now that makes sense because Galena is a CEO. I'm just saying, I don't know why everybody needs to go who's not a CEO, That's all I'm saying. So after they do the tasting, they go to dinner at this restaurant called Deacon's. It looks like it might be like a steakhouse. And lo and behold, Steven Sr. is there. I have written in my notes, I don't miss this asshole. If you watch the first season, you know why I'm saying I don't miss this asshole. He is a cheater, pumpkin eater. And he treats women terribly. Terribly. Yes, I get it that he tells women that he doesn't want to be pinned down. But I'm sorry. The one girl, I'm going to say girl. Because this girl, sure, she was not in her teens, but she was just out of her teens. She was like 22 or something like that. 22, 23. He's how old? In his late 50s or 60s or however old. And he was getting with her. He's terrible to women. So I wasn't happy to see him. Plus, when that deal didn't go through, he just left his sons high and dry. Plus now he pleaded guilty to fraud, so he's waiting for sentencing. Which, by the way, if you see him on TikTok, all of his TikToks now are like him with his grandkids, because Casey and Cole have their daughter, and Jesse and Allie had, I believe it's a baby girl named Summer, I think. So he's just holding them up, and I'm thinking in my mind, he's doing that because he wants to be like, oh, well, I'm going to show that I have grandkids and I have family, and look what I'm going to be missing out, and maybe they'll be lenient. They should not be lenient. Once again, they should not be lenient. Okay, so everybody's sitting around. There is a chair open, conveniently open, next to Steven Sr. And they're like, Galena's gonna be showing up. This should be interesting. So Galena walks in, sits right next to him. And listen, surprisingly, this went well. It was amicable. There was no yelling. She didn't cuss him out. There was none of that. It was pleasant. I could not believe it. It was pleasant until Steven Sr. started getting, his phone blown up. And who was that? Well, we know that was the other Russian. We know that was the other Russian in his life, Masha. So he excuses himself, goes by the bathroom, calls Masha, and is like, basically reads her the riot act and is like, what are you doing? You're being too clingy, and I thought that there was supposed to be no pressure. This is all pressure. And no, you're not going to fly down here. I'm with my sons. I'm at dinner with 15 people. You can't do this. No. And then hangs up and goes back to dinner. I'm going to tell you, I'm wondering if he thought that he chose the wrong Russian after Masha is putting all this pressure on him and is being so clingy. He didn't like that when Galina was doing it. I'm going to say, I think he did make, if he's going to choose, he shouldn't choose any of the Russians. But if he was going to choose any of the Russians, he should have chosen Galina. The reason why I say that, yes, Galina is she is very sporadic. Like she's, you know, what is the word that I'm thinking of? Let's say sporadic. I don't, you know, she's a ticking time bomb, sure. But Masha, to me, here's the thing. I said, I feel like Masha looks down on everybody, but I also feel like Masha is a gold digger. Whereas Galina has her own money. She has her own job. I don't know what Masha does. I don't know if she works. Maybe she does. But it seems to me like she might be a gold digger. Okay. So, back in Kansas City, Casey's getting her pregnancy photos done, and they are gorgeous. They look absolutely beautiful. So back to Nashville the next morning. I'm going to please petition Bravo producers. They won't watch this, but if they do, or if somebody can get this message to them, please show more of Jessie McBee in a towel. Please and thank you. I appreciate that. I like that. There is the question, whose boots are these? There are ladies, a woman's boots, dress boots, laying in the kitchen. Whose boots are these? Now, they led us to believe through all of this editing last week that it was going to be Cole. And I started to get a little hot under the collar. As it turns out, it wasn't Cole's. It's Braden. Braden is knocking boots and breaking beds in Nashville. Thankfully, it's not Cole. Cole did, however, break one rule by not calling Casey. He got drunk, he came home, and he immediately went to bed. So, he didn't call Casey the night before. Like I say, just went to bed. So he broke that rule. He also didn't pick up the phone when she tried to call. I think she called quite a few times and he didn't pick up the phone at all. And that was because Steven was like, don't pick that up. You were not doing anything wrong. Don't pick that up. What do you want? This is just going to cause, by him not picking up the phone, it's just going to cause more strife in that relationship. Is that what you want? So Steven Sr., I don't know if Steven Sr. stayed there, or I don't think he did. I think he came over. So they're all sitting in the living room, and they're talking about how Braden had a woman stay over. And he had the nerve to tell them, hey, you respect her. When you respect her, be respectful of the girl when she comes downstairs. Considering how he treats women, he's telling them to be respectful. That's rich. We find out then that Masha is tagging herself, is showing herself on Instagram in Nashville. So Steven Jr.'s like, look who's in Nashville. The dad's like, oh shit. So she's in Nashville, and coincidentally, both of the Stevens truck windows have been busted out. Braden's weren't, but both of the Stevens were. One guess as to who that is. She's Russian, I don't think it's Galena, because Galena had it all together the night before. So I don't think it's Galena. And with that, and here's the thing though, they didn't even really seem to be that upset. Like if somebody would have broken my windows, you couldn't console me. Like I would be pissed. I would be pissed. And they really weren't that pissed. Speaking of Masha, here comes Marsha. Here comes Masha. Boston busted in to the house, goes upstairs to Steven Sr. and starts yelling. She was here. I know she stayed here. She was here, screaming at him. She thinks Galena stayed there. He's like, there's no woman here. No. Masha leaves, gives him the finger, and then Steven Sr. in tow leaves right after that. He's like, I'll go get going. Here's my question though. Riddle me this. Masha comes up, everybody's windows, 2 windows was busted, and nobody said, hey, do you know anything about these windows that were busted out? What's your insurance looking like? Because somebody needs to pay for these windows that's busted out. They got money to pay for it though, so I guess they're not worried about it. And okay, so everybody skedaddles back to Gallatin, and Cole and Jesse, they go back to Jesse's house where Allie and Casey are home. Casey, like I said, he did break the rule about not calling before bed, but he also, there was also the rule of no women at the house. Casey asks, were there women at the house? Well, because Cole says that Braden fell in love. He met a girl and Braden fell in love. And she was like, oh, were there girls there? And he was like, well, some of the guys brought women home. And she said, well, so guys were there. So girls were there. Now, here's the thing. I agree with her on being upset about him not calling her. Just because based on like how he has been in the past, I get that. But with the women being there, he was like, they were brought over. The women were there because they were with these other guys. I didn't have any say-so over that. I couldn't help that. That I agree with. That I agree with. I mean, I could understand why she wouldn't trust that, but I agree that wasn't a rule that he broke. He didn't break that rule because he didn't bring anybody home. So Christy and Steven Jr., they meet up for coffee. There's this flashback that shows Steven saying, he's at dinner, he's talking with his father, and he says he's surrounded by people who want to rain on his parade, and refers to being surrounded by black clouds. So that's obviously his mom, because his mother was like, I don't think this is a great idea for you to do this. He says something like, this was never supposed to be a boys trip. It was always just a business trip. I don't buy that, because the reason is if it was just a business meeting, then why did you invite all of these other men who aren't in management positions with the company, is what I'm saying. I understand inviting your father because he's the owner. I understand inviting Galena. Sure. And even though Cole and Jesse's name is on it, he doesn't ever ask them for any help with anything else as far as like the meat processing goes. So why now? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I agree with Christy that this is horrible timing on Steven's part, because there's a lot going on for both Casey and Allie. And it was just terrible timing for him to be gone. Steven, of course, takes this personally, totally leans into this, oh, woe is me, because I'm single, and so I'm now supposed to just stay on my farm that's 5 miles away from everybody with my dog and my chicken. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I am single, and staying in with my dog is the greatest thing in life. So, but if you want to go out, I mean, you can still go out with your brothers. She's not saying you can't. She's just saying that it can't be the same as it was. Like, you can't just go down to Nashville and have a boys' night out and just drink constantly. You can't do that. Yeah, you can hang out with your brothers, but things are changing for them. So it has to be toned down a little bit. Also, what he could do is, I mean, there's a thing called going out and making friends. So the only friends that he has are his brothers. He doesn't have any other friends. That, I know, okay. I mean, but he gets real weird about it. And it feels to me like anytime she tries to tell him maybe this wasn't the greatest thing to do, he gets real pissy and says, well, I'm tired of people talking down. She wasn't talking down to him. She was just telling him, they can't be doing this. So Christy was like, I'm not taking this. You're not going to talk to me like this. And she left. Steven Jr. calls Cole and is like, oh yeah, mom left. She's not so happy. Which Jesse and Cole then told the ladies, listen, I'm not going back. Jesse was like, I'm not going back to Nashville. Cole's like, I'm never going back. Casey's like, I don't think that's the case at all. I think you're gonna go back. You're saying you're not now, but you will. She doesn't buy it because he also said he wouldn't drink anymore. And he's like, but I didn't drink between the Ozarks and Nashville. Okay, big deal. I mean, you said that you wouldn't, and that was a lie. And she sees how his father was, and she's afraid that that's how he's going to turn out to be. So next week, it looks like, oh, wait a minute. And before this ends, Steven Jr. gets a text message from Calla because she can't leave this alone. Like, I don't understand. This was it. She's done with him. He doesn't have her back. She has his. So she leaves and she's crying and she's so upset, but she goes back to him. I don't understand. And then he obviously goes back to her despite the fact that she's apparently always trying to start problems with his family. None of this makes sense. Also, all these issues are going on with Cole and Casey, and Cole, isn't making these big changes, isn't sticking with them. So, of course, when things are going really bad, the best thing to do is propose. So it looks like he proposes to Casey. That, just put a Band-Aid on it. It'll work. And Jesse says that he feels like he's living a double life. What does that mean? Could that be in reference to maybe this whole prenup? Who knows? So listen, if you watched, let me know in the comments. And if nobody told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world. Please always treat everyone with kindness because it's free. Number 1, be aware of your surroundings, be smart and safe. Number 3, let's hydrate with some water. Number 4, please know that if you're in a dangerous situation, Dolly and I are sending out our love, thoughts, and prayers for you to make it through. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.